Hi everybody, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, Touch of Magic. This is my first card with the new release for Simon Says stamp called Heart to Heart. This release will go live on January the 8th at 12:01 a.m. I got my products late, so I'm a little behind the 8 ball this month, but this is the first card. Okay, I think I've decided that the first thing I'm going to play with here is the stencil set with a coordinating die and perhaps tie in the Groovy Wishes stamp set. So I'm thinking we're going to go some traditional warm colors here, and let me pull some. Okay, I'm going to go some mid-tones here. So we're going to go some watermelon, apple, and cantaloupe. These are, of course, the Pawsitively saturated inks from Simon Says stamp. Beautiful for blending. So let me get a couple of tools together here and see what we got. And I will utilize my media mat. I do like this for blending. So we'll toss that up in here. It's always a little tighter when I'm filming. Okay, I'm starting with two pieces here. I've got the Hammermill 100-pound cardstock. This is the cover weight, so it's hefty. And I like that because it means that I don't have to think about where I'm blending. I can just tuck the stencils into the corner and they should all line up correctly. So let me make sure I have, there we go. You want to make sure that, I don't know if it'll show, but it's got the engraved name here. And you want to make sure all those are facing up and in the same direction so you can start correctly. So let's start with this one here. We're going to go tuck that in the corner, and then I'm going to put this back in the same place every time. Now you can take a little low tack tape here on the edges just to keep it down. You could use magnets too, and if you have a stencil mat or something like that, it would work equally well. This has just been my go-to technique for several years. It also holds my ink pads from sliding. And I always tap off in my lid because if I am painting and I want to use the inks, this is where I pull it from. Alrighty, get in there with some blending, starting on the plastic part of the stencil so that I'm not making a blotch, and then blending into the design. I love these inks for blending. They really are beautiful. They smooth out really nicely, and they're a nice saturation of color as well. And the brushes, I tend to hold the head of the brush. I find I have more control than back here. Everybody has their own way of preferring to do this, but that's mine. So shade 1, oops. And because I've taped it, even though it moved, it's not gonna go anywhere. Get the corner pieces, there we go. Okay. Oh, that's lovely, 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 lovely. All right, I will wash those after. I just spray them with rubbing alcohol, and that will get them clean very nicely. Okay, back into the corner, second stencil. It's the nice thing about using a corner is it just should line up perfectly again, and then we'll switch colors. So that first one was the watermelon. It's a lovely pink. I'm gonna move into the apple, which is a mid-red. And I will probably have fast forwarded most of the ink blending here. The pinks and reds will stain. Staining is a sign that something is well loved and well used, so just remember that. Okay, ooh, that's pretty. Like it. And let's do the final one here. And then we'll move to the orange. So again, this was the apple, and then we're gonna move to cantaloupe. I just wanted some nice warm colors for this. Is ink blending something that you like to do? What's your favorite kind of medium to work with? You like painting or ink blending? This is one of my favorites. I don't know, it's a little therapeutic maybe for me. I like what you get with a little bit of gradient color. You could certainly have fun with this and take darker tones to it with smaller brushes and see what else you get. First time I'm using a new product. I mean, I opened this 20 minutes ago. I tend to want to keep it simple the first time through. I want to see what the product does, how it works. It doesn't always have to be complicated to be wonderful. Okay, I think I got enough color on that. This orange is quite soft compared to the other two, but I love how that turned out. Okay, so let me tidy this up and come back and see what we're doing with this. Okay, I'm gonna trim this down. One of the things I love about a big stencil like this is that you could get conceivably 2 cards out of this if you play your cutting right. So I'm just gonna trim these down to the right size and then see where I am from there. So this finishes at about 5.5 by 5.5, just somewhere around that mark. There we go. That's really pretty. Boy, you could do a lot with that. You could keep it really simple, but these dies, so this one I think will cut out all the segments, so you could pop them all up, or you could pop up different ones, some flat, some up, if you did a couple more stencils. And then you've got this one that will cut out just the entire thing, so you could just pop up one. So that's kind of a neat idea, is that you could play with different techniques there. I think what I want to do is I'm going to take this down to 3 3/4. That's not going to give me a whole one in there, is it? Trying to see if I can get a hole out of that, but I don't think I can. I'd have to go real small, 3.5. Well, it's going to be a small center panel. Okay, so we're going to go 3.5 by, that takes me to 4 3/4. So 3.5 by 4 3/4 will be my center panel, which will give a nice wide margin. But I've got enough here that I can pop out one whole one, or I could take out pieces, I think, of all of them. We're gonna do both. I've got enough there. So let me do some cutting. Okay, so I've got the panel, I've got one full heart, and then I've got one with the pieces. So that's kind of neat. That's all. Okay, my brain is percolating. I think this one we're going to keep really simple. And I think we're just going to be putting one of these sentiments on it. I really do. And popping it up on some black. And I feel like if I ink blend another stencil in like soft grays, that this would be very cool popped up on top. I'm thinking on the fly. If you've been here before, you know this is how my brain works. Kind of craft and go at the same time. I have an idea. I love these colors. I have something else. Okay, this one first. I need some black. So this piece I've cut 3 3/4 by 5. And this one is 3.5 by 4 3/4. So it's going to give a nice 1/8 of an inch all the way around for matting. I think Love Ya has to go on here. Like, it just has to. It's got to be the one we use. Right here, I've got one of the original Waffle Flower grip mats, which I can tell that mine needs some washing. So I'm going to stick a magnet on there. So I may just back up here for a sec. So these ones we have Wishing You, so happy birthday, to my groovy friend, to my friend, hello my friend, love you so much. There's lots of nice combinations in here. So we're gonna go tuck it right across the middle. I think we're fairly centered. That looks pretty good. Always reset your center or your corner. Better safe than sorry. These are brand new. Just out of the package, so I use the palm of my hand, my fingers to wipe off any of the manufacturing residue. And I will take my VersaFine Clair. This is the Simon Says Stamp one. This is probably my favorite black. It's crisp, and you get a great impression every time. Now, new stamps do take a little bit extra. Oh, these are neat. Oh, look at that. It's got a built-in shadow. Oh, that's fun. Okay. A little stamp block pressure, not too hard. I don't want it to go splat. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-ink that one a little bit. Again, new stamp. Tucked back down. That's really neat with that shadow. Very 70s vibes on this. Some of us remember the 1970s. Though I would have been a wee lass at the time. Oh, that's very nice. And we're gonna tuck this one right under here. Keep it nice and tight. I think we're straight. Tuck down. Oh, good one first time out. Okay, so we're gonna give that a second to dry. I'm gonna grab a card base. Get my glue press here. This has fast become my favorite way to use liquid adhesive. We'll set that 1/8 of an inch border. And I've got a top fold A2 card base, so this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then that'll give another nice border on there. Nice thing about a liquid adhesive is it does give me a little wiggle time here, especially when I'm filming. Okay, so there we go. Now the one thing I think I would like to add is I've got some stuff here from a previous project I was working on, and they're the right color, so I'm gonna add a couple of little gems. These are just little, I believe they are memory box, and they call them fairy gems. They're just cute little ones. Come on now. There we go. And oh, I'm missing my pink one. Let me just get that. Yep, that's what they are. So these are the Open Studio, which is also memory box, and these are the fairy gems, and I definitely want a pink one to go right there. There we go. And just like that, we have the first card done. Okay, so a quick little recap on this one. We've used warm tones that are all harmonious in the color wheel. So we've got watermelon, apple, and cantaloupe. When you're using colors like that, they'll always blend beautifully. I've cropped it tight to give it a nice border and another border on the white card. And that allowed me to have some leftovers that'll go on another card. I've centered the sentiment and tucked that under for balance. And then we've got our 5 little gems scattered to tie in the colors, give it a little shine, and just pull everything together and center that sentiment. So I hope you found this inspiring. You can do this with anything that you have. If you're looking for new products, will be links in the description below for this release and any of the products that I have received. I am an affiliate for Simon Says Stamp. I'm one of their affiliate designers, hence I receive these products each month. If you do shop my links, and I hope you will, I earn a small commission. It helps support my channel, and it's always so very appreciated. And at this point, I always say thumbs up, please. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell and it'll let you know the next time I have another video coming, which should be very soon because I have a lot of new fun products to play with. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you being here always. And as always, I hope you also find some time to craft. We'll see you again soon. Bye.